My name is Olivia. I met Liam when I was 22. He was 25. He had dark brown hair and green eyes. He was tall, quiet, and strong. The first time I saw him, he was reading alone in the park. I was sitting on the next bench. He smiled at me. I smiled back. We talked every day after that. He liked to walk in the park. I liked to listen to him. He spoke slowly and gently. He made me laugh. I told him about my job. He told me about his. He worked at a small office. I worked in a flower shop. It was not a big job, but I loved it. I loved the smell of flowers. I loved the quiet mornings. Liam made me feel special. He always said nice things to me. "You have kind eyes," he once said. "You listen like no one else." We spent long hours together. We talked about our dreams, about simple things. I felt safe with him. I believed he was the man I would grow old with. If you're still here, you're feeling something. Maybe it's time to subscribe and leave a short comment below. It helps more than you think. After a year, he asked me to marry him. We stood under a big tree. The wind was soft that day. His hands were cold. His voice was low. "Will you marry me?" he asked. I said yes. My heart was full. I felt lucky. I felt proud. We married in a small room with only a few people. I wore a white dress. He wore a simple black suit. We looked at each other and smiled. The first few months were happy. He kissed my forehead every morning. I made him coffee. We sat on the couch and watched TV. On Sundays, we walked in the park like we used to. I thought our love was strong. I thought we were growing closer, but I didn't see the signs. Slowly, he changed. His smile was not the same. His words were shorter. Sometimes he came home late. He looked tired. I asked, "Are you okay?" He said, "I'm fine." But I knew he was not. He stopped talking like before. He ate in silence. He stared at his phone. I missed him, even when he was next to me. One night I made his favorite food, chicken with rice. I put candles on the table. I wore the red dress he once loved. I waited. He came home late. He looked at the food and said nothing. I said, "I made your favorite." He sat down and ate fast. He didn't say thank you. I felt tears in my eyes, but I didn't cry. After dinner, I tried to hold his hand. He pulled away. "I'm tired," he said. "Not now." He went to the bedroom and closed the door. I sat on the couch for a long time. I looked at the candles. They were small now, almost gone. I felt cold. Another day we were cleaning the house. I asked him if he could help me move a box. He was on his phone. "Liam," I said, "can you help me?" He didn't answer. I touched his arm. He shouted, "Not now, Olivia." I stepped back. My heart jumped. His voice was loud and angry. Later that week, everything changed. We had a small fight. I asked him, "Why don't you talk to me anymore?" He stood up fast. His face was red. "You talk too much," he yelled. I was shocked. I said, "I just want to understand." Then it happened. His hand moved fast. He hit my cheek. It was quiet after that. So quiet. I didn't move. I didn't cry. I just looked at him. He looked back. His eyes were full of fear. He said nothing. I went to the bedroom and closed the door. That night, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling. My cheek was warm. My heart was cold. I didn't leave him. I didn't run away. But something inside me broke. Something quiet but strong. I decided I would stay, but I would never speak to him again. And from that day, I didn't. Not one word. The morning after Liam hit me, I woke up before him. The sun was soft through the window, and the room was still. I turned my head and looked at him sleeping beside me. His face was calm, like nothing had happened. But something had happened. Something we could never take back. I didn't cry that morning. I didn't speak. I got out of bed slowly and made tea like I always did. I sat at the kitchen table and watched the steam rise. I felt like I was watching someone else's life, not mine. He walked in and said, "Morning." I looked at him but said nothing. He waited, then tried again. "Did you sleep okay?" I turned my eyes away. That was the first moment he saw it. The silence. The deep, cold silence that would follow us both for days, for weeks, maybe longer. I saw confusion on his face. He stood still, then sat across from me. I didn't lift my eyes. I just sipped my tea. At first, I think he thought it was a small thing, a quiet mood. Maybe he believed I would speak again after an hour or two, but I didn't. He asked simple questions. "Do you want to eat something? Are you okay? Should I bring your coat?" I didn't answer. I didn't shake my head or nod. I didn't even move. I just listened. But I never gave him words again. I saw worry grow in his eyes. His hands moved slower. His voice became unsure. That night, he cooked dinner. Pasta. He never cooked before. He put the plate in front of me. I ate quietly, not because I forgave him, but because I needed to eat. He watched me the whole time. I didn't look up. I finished, stood up and washed my plate. Then I sat on the couch and stared at the wall. He sat beside me, not touching me, just sitting like a guest in his own home. I think he wanted to say sorry. I think the words were in his mouth, but he didn't say them. The next few days were strange. I went to work as usual. I didn't change anything outside. I smiled at customers. I watered flowers. I tied small ribbons on white roses. But inside, I felt different. It was like my heart had put up a wall. I could not talk to the man I once loved, and I didn't want to. Liam tried at first. He cleaned the house, made dinner again, brought me tea. But the silence did not break. He would ask questions, simple things. I never answered. At night, we lay in the same bed, but I turned away. He stopped trying to hold my hand. I could hear his breathing. I knew he was awake like me. Sometimes I saw him cry, quietly, but I felt nothing. My words were gone. One night, he came home late from work. He smelled like smoke. I looked at him as he walked in, then turned away. He came to the table and sat down across from me. "I made a mistake," he said. "I was angry. I don't know why I did it. I'm sorry." I didn't speak. I didn't move. His voice broke a little. "Please, Olivia. I miss your voice. I miss you." I looked at the candle on the table. It was shaking a little, just like his hands. I felt pain, deep in my chest, but it was not for him. It was for me. For the girl I was before. The girl who smiled when he smiled. That girl was gone. A week passed. Then 2. My silence became the loudest thing in our home. It filled every corner. He started to stay at work longer. Some nights, he didn't come home until after midnight. But I didn't ask why. I didn't wait for him. I ate alone. I sat alone. One night, I heard the door open slowly. I was on the couch. He stood in the doorway. His eyes were red. "I lost my job," he said. "They said I'm not focused anymore. They said I've changed." I looked at him, and in my eyes, there was only one word, though I never said it. "Good." Liam sat on the floor near my feet. He looked so small. "I don't know who I am anymore," he whispered. "I never meant to hurt you. I swear I turned my face away. I didn't want to see his tears. They were too late." He cried softly for a long time. Then he got up and walked to the bedroom. He closed the door gently, like he was scared it would break. Days turned into weeks. I didn't tell anyone what happened. I didn't tell my sister. I didn't tell my friends. People don't always understand. Some say, "You should leave." Others say, "He said sorry. Give him another chance." But this was not their life. It was mine. I didn't leave, but I didn't forgive either. Some people hit once. Some people lie once. And some people think that one time doesn't change everything. But it does. It changed me. Then one evening, he did something strange. He came home with a small paper bag. He placed it on the table and said, "You used to love these?" It was chocolate cake from the cafe near the flower shop. He sat down and waited. I took the bag, opened it, and looked at the cake. I didn't smile. I didn't thank him. But I did eat a piece. His face changed. Not happy, but soft. Like he saw something come back for a second. But I didn't give him more than that. That night, I lay in bed and thought of the old Liam, the one who smiled in the park, the one who held my hand like it was a gift. I missed that version of him, but I didn't miss this one. I didn't miss the Liam who let anger live in his hands. The silence between us was now not only mine, it had become his too. We spoke with quiet, with the way we passed plates, with the way we sat apart. The house was not warm anymore. It was just a space. One morning, I saw him sitting in the kitchen. His head was down. His eyes were on the floor. He looked up when I entered. "You don't need to stay," he said. His voice was flat. "You don't talk. You don't smile. I know I ruined it." I said nothing. I sat down across from him and poured tea. For a moment, I looked at his face. I could see the change, the pain. The man in front of me was no longer proud. He was small and lost. I thought maybe he finally understood what his hand had done, but I still couldn't speak. Not yet. He stood up and walked to the door. "If you ever want me gone," he said, "just leave a bag by the door." And then he left. The door closed behind him. I sat alone with 2 cups of tea, mine and his. That morning, after Liam left, I sat still for a long time. The tea had gone cold, but I kept my hands around the cup. The silence was thicker now, deeper. I used to feel it between us. Now I felt it in every part of the house. No sound from the sink, no footsteps, no phone ringing, just me and the cold air. I looked at the bag he left by the table, the small one from the cake shop. It was empty now, but it still sat there like a memory, like something that wanted to stay. I didn't clean it. I didn't move anything. I just sat and listened to the nothing. That day at work, I was quiet too. Not silent like at home, but quiet. My boss asked if I was okay. I smiled and said yes. I didn't like lying, but sometimes small lies help you move through the day. I cut flowers, wrapped pink ribbons, tied small notes on bouquets. People came in holding hands, smiling, asking for roses. I nodded, I wrapped, I handed them beauty. Then they left, and I stood there alone again. One woman said, "You look tired." I smiled and said, "Long week." She nodded, paid for her flowers, and left. When I got home, Liam wasn't there. His coat was not on the hook. His shoes were not by the door. I felt something strange. Not fear, not anger, just space. I cooked rice and eggs. I didn't cook for him anymore, just enough for me. I sat at the table and ate while watching the window. The light was turning soft. I missed that part of the day when we used to drink tea together. He always said the sky looked like a painting. I would laugh and say he was too romantic. Now, I would have given anything to hear him say it again. But I didn't speak, and he was not here. A few days passed like that. He came home late. Some nights, not at all. He didn't leave a message. I didn't ask. I still slept on my side of the bed, facing the wall. I still made tea for one. But I started to wonder where he went, who he saw, if he was with someone, if he cried when he was away. Or maybe he didn't care anymore. Maybe my silence had pushed him away for good. Part of me wanted that. But another part of me remembered his voice, his hands, his laugh when he told a bad joke. I didn't miss the pain, but I missed the man before it. Then one night, he came home early. I was sitting on the couch. He didn't say anything at first. He sat on the floor again like the last time. His face was tired. His eyes had dark circles under them. He looked older, like weeks had passed and only days. He didn't try to touch me. He just sat there. "I met with someone today," he said. His voice was low. "A man from church. I told him everything." I looked at him but said nothing. "He said I need help," Liam continued. "He said I can't fix this if I don't change inside, not just outside." I watched him. He wasn't lying. His hands were shaking. His voice was soft. He didn't try to make me forgive him. He just told me what he did. He said he started going to group meetings. He said he was reading about anger. He said he had no excuse, but he was trying to be better. I listened. I didn't cry. I didn't run. But I didn't speak. I let him feel the full weight of my silence. That night he slept on the couch. I heard him turn, cough, sigh. The house felt cold, but I still stayed in bed. I closed my eyes and tried to sleep. The next few weeks were quiet but different. He kept coming home early. He cleaned the dishes without a word. He left small things on the table, a warm muffin, a tea bag I liked, a tiny blue flower. I never smiled. I never spoke. But I noticed. I saw the effort. I saw the pain, too. He was learning what it meant to live without my voice, without my warmth. That was the lesson he never thought he'd have to learn. One Sunday, I went for a walk alone. I walked the same path where we first met. The bench was still there, empty. The trees were turning yellow. The air smelled like fall. I sat down and closed my eyes. For a moment, I remembered him sitting beside me. That young man with green eyes and a soft voice. The one who said I had kind eyes. I missed that boy. I missed myself back then, too. I didn't know what would happen next, but I knew I couldn't go back to the way things were. Too much had changed. When I got home that evening, the house was clean. A small candle was on the table. Not for love, not for beauty, just for light. Liam was sitting in the corner reading. He looked up when I entered, then looked back at the page. He didn't try to speak. He just let the silence stay. And then something strange happened. I didn't go to the bedroom. I sat down across from him. He looked up again, waiting. I didn't speak. I just sat there. For a full hour, we sat like that. Two people who once shared everything, now saying nothing, yet somehow saying everything. That night, something felt different. Not because of the candle, not because of the quiet, but because I could feel something shifting. We were still not speaking, but the silence no longer felt like a wall. It felt like a window that let light in, even if it was soft and slow. Liam didn't try to fill it. He didn't rush to explain anything. He just sat across from me, still, quiet, broken in some way, but trying. I looked at his hands, the same hands that once held mine under the rain, the same hands that once brushed hair from my face, and yes, the same hands that had hurt me. I could not forget that. But part of me now believed he was hurting too. In the days after that, we moved like shadows in the same house. He didn't sleep on the couch anymore. He started coming to bed, but always last, after I had already turned away. He never touched me. He never tried. I think he knew he had no right to ask for anything. Sometimes I woke in the night and heard him breathing slowly, almost like he was counting the silence between us. One night, I opened my eyes and saw him sitting up in bed, looking at me. He thought I was asleep. He didn't speak. He just looked at me for a long time, like he was remembering the woman I used to be, the woman he broke. I closed my eyes again and let him look. One afternoon, I came home and found the living room full of light. The windows were open. The air smelled like soap and wood. The carpet was clean. The shelves were dusted. On the table, there were fresh white flowers. Not red, not pink, just white. I knew he picked them on purpose. Not romantic, just quiet. I walked past them without a word, but something inside me softened. That night, I sat on the couch after dinner. He sat too, but on the floor, like before. We watched a quiet movie with old music. We didn't speak. We didn't laugh. But we were there in the same moment, and that meant something. After many weeks, he started leaving the house early again. Not like before when he left to escape. This time, he left with purpose. He would return with tired eyes and paint on his clothes. One evening, he looked at me and pointed to his shirt. "I found a job," he said. "Painting houses. It's hard, but I like it." I didn't answer, but I looked at him a little longer than usual. That was the first time I saw a small light in his eyes. Not pride, but effort. Not hope, but work. It was the first time I saw a man trying to build something again. I started writing again. Not letters, not notes, just lists in my head. Lists of things I wanted to feel again. I wanted to feel warm in the morning. I wanted to feel safe. I wanted to hear my own laugh. I didn't know if I could find those things here with him. But I knew I didn't want to live in the past anymore. The past was too sharp. It hurt too much when I touched it. I wanted to live in the present, even if it was quiet and slow. One Sunday morning, I went to the kitchen to make tea. He was already there. He had 2 cups ready. He held one out to me. I took it. For the first time in months, I looked into his eyes and didn't look away. He didn't say anything. He just watched me. His eyes were tired, full of lines and pain, but also full of something I couldn't name. It was not love. It was not guilt. It was something in between, something like understanding. I sat at the table, and he sat across from me. He took a deep breath. "You don't have to stay," he said softly. "I'll leave if you want. Just say the word." I didn't speak. I didn't cry. I just kept looking at him. For a moment, I saw the Liam I once knew, the one who read books in the park, the one who made me laugh. He was still in there but buried under mistakes and time. I couldn't bring him back. He had to do that on his own. That evening, he started packing a small bag. He didn't wait for me to ask. He just did it. I stood in the hallway and watched. He placed a shirt, a toothbrush, and a small photo frame into the bag. It was a picture of us from the first year of our marriage. We were smiling under the sun, arms around each other. I had forgotten we even had that photo. He held it for a moment, then placed it gently in the corner of the bag. Before he left, he walked toward me. He stopped a few steps away. "Thank you," he said, "for staying, for not screaming, for showing me who I really was. His voice was low. I hope one day you'll forgive me, but I know I don't deserve it now. Then he opened the door and stepped outside. The door closed behind him, soft and slow. I stood in the hallway for a long time. I didn't cry. I didn't fall. I just stood there, breathing. The house was quiet again, but this time it was a different kind of quiet. Not heavy, not dark, just still, like the end of a storm. That night, I sat on the couch and drank tea alone. I looked around and felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. Not happiness, not love, just peace. It was enough for now. He never came back to live with me again, but he wrote once, many months later, a short message. He said he still worked every day. He still went to meetings. He had not hit anyone since that day. He didn't ask me for anything. He just said thank you and goodbye. I never replied, but I smiled softly, not because I was happy, but because I finally felt free. I hope you have enjoyed the story. Like and comment if you want to hear more soon.